If you owe the bank $100, that's your problem. If you owe the bank $100 million, that's the bank's problem. Formula for success: rise early, work hard, strike oil. The meek shall inherit the earth, but not its mineral rights. If you can actually count your money, then you're not a rich man. If you can count your money, you don't have $1 billion. Money is like manure. You have to spread it around or it smells. In times of rapid change, experience could be your worst enemy. The employer generally gets the employees he deserves. I hate to be a failure. I hate and regret the failure of my marriages. I would gladly give all my millions for just one lasting marital success. Going to work for a large company is like getting on a train. Are you going 60 miles an hour, or is the train going 60 miles an hour and you're just sitting still? I buy when other people are selling. I've never been one to bet on the weather. My formula for success is rise early, work late, and strike oil. The Roaring Twenties were the period of that great American prosperity which was built on shaky foundations. How does one measure the success of a museum? The beauty one can find in art is one of the pitifully few real and lasting products of human endeavor. To succeed in business, to reach the top, an individual must know all it is possible to know about that business. During the 1950s, Aristotle Onassis and I formed what grew to be a close friendship and association in several business ventures. Nostalgia often leads to idle speculation. I was brought up in an era when thrift was still considered a virtue. Without the element of uncertainty, the bringing off of even, the greatest business triumph would be dull, routine, and eminently unsatisfying. Before marriage, many couples are very much like people rushing to catch an airplane. Once aboard, they turn into passengers. They just sit there. No one can possibly achieve any real and lasting success or get rich in business by being a conformist. Whether we like it or not, men and women are not the same in nature, temperament, emotions, and emotional responses. My love of fine art increased the more of it I saw, the more of it I wanted to see. The man who comes up with a means for doing or producing almost anything better, faster, or more economically has his future and his fortune at his fingertips. Books, like proverbs, receive their chief value from the stamp and esteem of the ages through which they have passed. I have absolutely no intention of marrying Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. I am neither a homosexual nor a eunuch, nor have I ever taken any vows of chastity. In Japan, I was immensely impressed by the politeness, industrious nature, and conscientiousness of the Japanese people. The overwhelming majority of my rated wealth consists of investments in companies that produce goods and services. I am and have always been a Methodist. There are 100 men seeking security to one able man who is willing to risk his fortune. A hatred of failure has always been part of my nature. I can afford to say what I wish. Governments, of course, can and do soak the rich. Oil is like a wild animal. Whoever captures it has it. There are heads of royal families who control hereditary fortunes that defy comprehension. You cannot bring about prosperity without discouraging thrift. I was 37 when my father died, and I no longer had any freedom of choice over what I would do with the rest of my life. A marriage contract to me is as binding as any in business, and I have always believed in sticking to an agreement. You cannot further the brotherhood of man by encouraging class hatred. My wealth is not a subject I relish discussing. Control of a company does not carry with it the ability to control the price of its stock. I vehemently deny that I was born a cynic and a pessimist. The rich are not born skeptical or cynical. They are made that way by events, circumstances. My yachts were, I suppose, outstanding status symbols. There are at least 50 cities in the world that would have liked to obtain the Getty collection. Rhetoric and dialectics can't change what I have learned from observation and experience. 5 wives can't all be wrong. I have always enjoyed the company of women and have formed deep and long-lasting friendships with many of them. I have never been given to envy save for the envy I feel toward those people who have the ability to make a marriage work and endure happily. What I learned at Oxford has been used to great advantage throughout my business career. I take pride in the creation of my wealth, in its existence, and in the uses to which it has been and is being put. Nationalized industries are notorious for their inability to operate at a profit. Jack Dempsey and I became friends in the very early 1920s.